Again,
This conference will now be recorded.
I ask that everybody please make sure you're muted during the session. You can control your screen size. So just to the right, if you take your mouse to the right side, you can resize it if that works better for you. So real quick overview of the agenda. We're going to cover why CloudSuite Distribution, why that might be important for anyone that's on-prem SXC to migrate to CloudSuite. We're going to walk through a bit of a day in the life, so a little bit of process flow, if you will. And then we're going to have a demo as well. And I have a few guests on with me today. So our main presenter is Hani Wag, Associate Solutions Consultant with Infor. And I've worked with Hani in the past on several other opportunities that we've had. Hani has been with Infor since 2019, and she specializes specifically in CloudSuite. She holds a degree in operations management with a focus on inventory management. We also have Mike Mazzoni from Infor as well, who's a solutions consultant for CloudSuite specifically. And we thank our wonderful Infor partner for joining us and for doing the presentation today. And then I'd also like to introduce Patrick Van Putty. He's our President and Chief Operating Officer. I know that most of you know him fairly intimately. I'm going to ask Patrick to say a couple of words, and then I'll ask Patrick to pass it over to Hani once he's done that, and we'll have Hani run through the presentation. Patrick, to you, my friend.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it. Hey, I just want to say thanks for taking some time out of your day. I know you're all busy. As I scrolled down the attendee list, so many names I recognize, and obviously in a different time, these types of meetings would be done face-to-face, so I do appreciate the investment in time. One of the things that I want to talk about, and I promised Hani I wouldn't steal all her thunder, is, in dealing with the 200 plus accounts that we work with today that run some version of CloudSuite Distribution or SX Enterprise, that question of why CloudSuite comes up frequently. And some of the things that we're going to talk about, I'm just going to highlight quickly and then I'll turn it over. But when I'm asked that question, really it comes down to the benefits of a CloudSuite type product. Application security is with AWS. So many of our customers today are concerned about disaster recovery and high availability. Well, that's taken care of. And a big topic for a lot of our customers is upgrades. Well, there is no upgrade. Once you're on CloudSuite, the beauty of it is you're on the latest product with the newest features. And those features every month are being further enhanced. Infor's OS, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about that now, for process automation, data integration, and application security. So as you go through and review and start to look at CloudSuite Distribution, and as Hani walks you through a day in the life of CloudSuite, keep those things in the back of your mind. I mean, the programs that are out there right now with Infor, the no customer left behind, really it's advantageous for each of you at some point to take a look at this. I do believe that there is a fit here for everybody. And again, as we look at the product, remember the whys, because they do make an awful lot of sense. So I'm not going to bore you with my conversation. I know you're all here to take a look at CloudSuite Distribution. I'd like to, at this point in time, turn it over to Hani, who will walk you through a day in the life of CloudSuite.
Hello, everyone. Nice to talk to all of you today. And so before I get into the actual demo, I'm just going to run through a few slides, kind of reiterate and build on what Patrick was just saying. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so I like to start a lot of my presentations by going over the industry drivers. And the reason for that is because Infor is industry specific. We build our solutions for specific industries like distribution, of course. And to that end, we want and we need to keep track of what is driving that industry forward so that we make sure our solution is a good fit for those drivers. So for instance, we have customer experience where it's kind of difficult to maintain a high level of customer service and a customer experience when you're selling across multiple channels, and you have to, think, am I providing the best level of customer service or am I not? And are they going to my competitors? So that's something that we want to think about and something that we include within the solution. We also have those expanding services where gone are the days where you can compete necessarily on product availability and pricing, because Amazon Amazon is quite the competitor over there, and it's difficult to beat them on those fronts. And that's why a lot of the times our distributors are expanding their services so that they're able to add value to the relationship with their customers. So whether it's like manufacturing or services or rentals or job management, distributor managed inventory, those are all things that we support so that you can, again, build that relationship with your customer. Margin erosion, of course, margins within the distribution industry can be quite thin, and so we want to make sure that you have the ability to maximize that revenue and minimize the cost. And we can maximize revenue for you in a number of ways. For example, we have a pricing science in our solution, which allows you to figure out the optimal price for each one of your products for each one of your customers. And we also help you minimize costs by making sure that your operations run as smoothly as possible and you minimize those non-value added activities. Big data insight, of course, been a buzzword for quite a while now, but really we all know that you're collecting a ton of information every day, whether it's with your customers, your products, your vendors, your orders, your purchase orders, your sales orders, all of that. You're gaining information, but how do you put it into a logical format where you can draw conclusions and make strategic decisions based off of that? We have an analytics tool set, which we're going to be seeing a little bit later on, that is going to help you with that. And then finally, we have a dynamic workforce where a lot of people are retiring now. Younger generation is coming in. Younger generation wants to work with a solution that looks like what they're used to in their daily life when they go on a website or they, open up the applications on their phone. And so we have a really nice, easy to use, intuitive user interface that should help with that, and will also help individuals of all ages take advantage of the solution really quickly, because again, it really is quite intuitive. So we've talked about those industry drivers and a little bit of how CloudSuite Distribution can address that, but let's dive into it just a little bit more. Where, as Patrick mentioned, because we run off of the cloud, you have access to those latest capabilities, to the latest and greatest. You'll have access to that innovation. You could keep up with it, the industry changes and the best practices, and position yourself for success. Next, we have a quicker time to value. So we just talked about we have a modern and intuitive user interface that's going to get you up and running faster than ever. You have increased visibility. So not only is everything much more visible and accessible within our solution, but we also have this business analytics to give you a new view of what is going on in your business and in your departments. Simplified integrations. Again, Patrick talked about that, where we have something called extensibility, which we'll be touching on later. But essentially what it does is it allows the solution to meet your unique business needs without having to do those invasive modifications. And therefore, integrations meet those unique business needs much, much easier. Optimize infrastructure. If you're on the cloud, of course, you're going to be cutting those hardware costs, and you're able to reallocate those resources that were devoted to the hardware elsewhere, so that you're able to, once again, maximize your workforce and grow your business. And also, the cloud allows for things like best-in-class performance and scalability. So if you have changes in usage in terms of monthly, seasonal, or you have a merger and acquisition, you don't have to worry, will the solution be able to meet my needs? Will it be able to scale? And then finally, again, reducing risk, where you have AWS taking care of the security and compliance for you. And because it's being taken care of for you, you can focus on your core operations and, we'll take care of the rest. And one last slide before we get into the demo, I just wanted to show you, what is in this Cloud Suite. And as you can see, there's a lot of things here and there's way, way more, but we could only fit so much on a slide. So we're just gonna go very briefly through this. We're on the bottom left-hand side, we have our operating service platform, and that allows for this whole Cloud Suite to be so much more than an ERP. Again, we'll be seeing that extensibility. We'll be seeing role-based homepages, which really help with productivity and efficiency. We'll be taking a look at document management, that electronic library to store all of your documents for easy use and productivity increase. We're going to be seeing the mobility aspects of CloudSuite Distribution. And then above that, we have that core functionality, what you would expect from an ERP. We have our sales, our purchasing, our finance, our inventory management, pricing, proof of delivery, where if you have your own fleet, you can go ahead and create your route with CloudSuite Distribution. Of course, we have that pricing science, which I mentioned, and the analytics. Speaking of analytics, on the top right-hand side, we have mention of those analytics, which we're going to be seeing, again, help you take advantage of all of that information that you're collecting. Below that, we have our optional strategic modules. So if you need e-commerce, configure, price, quote, customer relationship management, we have all of that for you. Those are all Infor products. And if you want to have those expanding services to, again, make that relationship with your customer a little bit more sticky, we have job management, distributor managed inventory, service and rental, and we also have warehouse automation, which is going to be helping with your operations to make things run much, much smoother, and again, help you with those margins. And then finally, as we've been talking about again and again, we have our Amazon Web Services, the world-class infrastructure, which is going to be helping you support the solution, help you with disaster recovery, scaling, and of course, security and scalability. Okay, I think we had enough PowerPoint slides. So I say, let's dive into the demonstration. And I just want to reiterate, if you have questions, by all means, please put them in the chat so that we can touch on them later on after the demo. Now, the way that I like to start off my demonstration is by going through a day in the life. And I'm going to be going through a day in the life from the perspective of a sales rep. And the reason that I like to do this is because CloudSuite Distribution, as I said before, is much, much more than just an ERP. And what I want to give you is a sense of the look and feel of how it is so much more, how it is just a complete suite to meet all of your needs. And as I'm going throughout the demo, of course, this is not necessarily the way that you or your sales reps do things. Again, it's kind of to give you a flavor of what it can be like. And so suppose I am a sales rep and I'm heading to my office and I need to stop off. I need to grab a coffee before I get there. I need my cup of joe. And so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to whip out my mobile phone over here, and I'm going to, once I get to the coffee shop and waiting online to place my order, I'm going to take a look at my Infor mobile application here, where I can see things like my alerts, my tasks, my posts. So my alerts, things that I want to be notified of, tasks, things that I want to be notified of and take action on, and my posts, so conversations between myself and one or many individuals. So first I might want to take a look at my alerts. I could see up top that it looks like there's a shipment that's due soon. It might be running late. I could see some high-level parameters around this information. And if I want to share this alert with another individual, maybe I want to ask a question of another individual within my organization, I can go ahead and do that. But I'm good to go. I'm going to keep an eye on that alert. And I'm going to take a look at my tasks, and I see two tasks over here that catch my eye. The first, it looks like there's a quote for one of my customers, for customer Apex, and it looks like it's going to be expiring soon, and I definitely don't want that. Again, those margins very thin. I want to make sure I get as much money and as much revenue as I possibly can. Now, this has already been assigned to me. However, if maybe another individual within my organization has a better relationship with Apex, then I can definitely go ahead and assign it to them. It will be on their to-do list and taken off of mine. But I have a good relationship with Apex, definitely going to be taking care of that. And so I decide, there is one more thing over here. It looks like there is an order that's on credit hold for my customer Leonard Homes. Now, I happen to be a very special sales rep who has the authority to take care of things like that. Again, I see those high-level parameters in front of me. And, it just so happens I spoke to this customer last week. They said, don't worry, we're getting in money, nothing to worry about. If I wanted to add a note saying just that, so that if people are looking at this quote or at this order and wondering why did I approve it, I can add that note. But what I'm going to do right over here is from my mobile device, I'm going to go ahead and approve that order. It's now been released and that pick ticket can be printed. Now it looks like my coffee's almost ready, so let me go ahead and check one more thing. Let me look at the conversations that I'm having, and it looks like Diane is asking me to check out a quote for one of my customers. So I can go ahead and I can open up the quote right over here from my mobile device. I can take a look at it. I see who the customer is, the product, the description, the quantity, the price, the net amount, the total, everything looks good. And so I can let Diane know, yep, all good. And that way she'll be able to continue her work with that quote. Okay, awesome. I've got my coffee. I've taken a look at my alerts and tasks. I've released an order already. It's all going well. And I do want to actually stop off at a customer before I get into the office. And it would be nice if I could see some analytics on that customer before I get there, so that I can make the best use of my time. And so I'm able to pull up my analytics, my dashboard right in front of me on my phone, where I'm able to see things like year-to-date sales, year-over-year growth and growth percentage, year-to-date versus last year-to-date sales, sales by product category, as well as, again, that AR aging, because I am a very special sales rep. Now, this is all handy. However, I think it would be much, much handier if I could see this information specifically for the customer that I'm going to visit. And so I'm going to filter this entire dashboard for my customer Metro Sales Supply that I'm going to be seeing. And we can see how dynamically all of these numbers have changed to reflect just Metro Sales Supply. So for instance, I can start to draw conclusions. I can see that, hey, they really love our electrical equipment, so maybe I want to go ahead and sell them some electrical goods while I'm there. I can see that they owe quite a bit in AR aging, so maybe I want to do my friends in AR a favor and see if maybe they want to send me back with a check for our company over here. And I could also see my customer history. I could see that there was an inbound call for pricing from them, and also, well, there's been a collections call and we can see why. So armed with this information, I go to the customer and happy ending to the story. I, in fact, sell them a ton of electrical equipment, and I also have a nice hefty check in my pocket for my friends in AR. So really great start to the day. Now, what I'm going to do next is, of course, I'm going to go ahead and head into the office. So let's get into the office and see what CloudSuite Distribution has in store for me there. When I log into my desktop application over here, CloudSuite Distribution, what I'm greeted with is my sales rep homepage. So this is a homepage that's tailored to me and to my role as a sales rep, where I'm able to see things like analytics that I want to keep an eye on a daily basis. So year-to-date versus last year-to-date sales, order history, and some key performance indicators like open quotes, average order size, the commission that's due to me. And I also have some other important information for me, like who are my customers, what are their open orders, and what's their period balance. And in order to see this information really quickly and easily for any customer, I simply go ahead and I'm able to select that customer. I have my favorites, shortcuts to those areas within the solution that I need to go to frequently. I'm able to see my important documents. I could pull them up at a moment's notice if I need to. And then we also have some of the things that we saw on my mobile device, where we have the posts, we see that conversation that I've been having with Diane, we have those expiring quotes, credit approvals, those late shipments, and we also have no orders have been placed for certain customers within 30 days. So I see that right in front of me. I say, aha, yes, I wanted to take care of that expiring quote. So let me go ahead and do just that. And so I open up this task, and what I'm going to see is, again, that high level parameter information right over here. And I also have a drill back directly to that quote. So I don't have to go, searching for it at all, saving me a nice amount of time. And so what we have over here, I've opened up that quote already, and I'm able to see that header information, who is the customer, but also I can see the line detail. So I can see that what items are on that quote, description, the quantity ordered, quantity shipped is of course nothing because it's a quote, and the price for these items, the net amount, fantastic. So what I want to do is I definitely want to go ahead and convert that quote into an order. Now what I can do is I can contact my guy over there at this particular customer, and I don't have to go searching for his contact information. Instead, I open up my in context viewer, I check under contacts. Over here, John Smith, he's my guy, and I have his phone number right over here. Now I can call and I can, try to convert that quote into an order. If he doesn't pick up the phone, maybe I could leave a note and have it attached to this order saying, hey, I tried calling, you didn't pick up the phone, gonna try again. Or maybe I want to actually create an activity. Maybe I want to create a quote follow-up, where I can say, you know what, I would like to have a quote follow-up on this day at this time for this customer. Once I've done that follow-up, I could enter in the result and some comments if I'd like, and I could do it that way. Thankfully, John Smith has in fact picked up the phone. He definitely wants to place that order and he wants to add on another item, so I don't have to worry about that activity. Okie dokes, fantastic. Let us go ahead and help John Smith out. And so we're going to go ahead and maintain that order. And when we do, we're going to see on the left-hand side, again, that header information, that order number, that quote, the order stage, and who is the customer, what is their address, and what is this shipped to. And we can collapse that for a little bit more real estate. And on the right-hand side, I can see the items that were already on that order. I could see the pictures of those items, their names, their numbers, the quantity, and the price. And so I go ahead and I say, okay, John Smith, what can I get for you? And he says, listen, I want one more thing. I want that circular saw, the 7/4 inch is the 2-0040. Okay, not a problem. Okay, I have it right over here. Let me go ahead and get that for you. How many would you like? He says 5. And CloudSuite Distribution has also showed me some optional or add-on products for the saw. So I'm able to say, hey, John Smith, do you want, some extra blades? Do you want cases? And he says, yes. Let's go ahead and do 10 of those blades. Let's do 5 cases. And we're going to go ahead and add all of those items to the order. Okay, we're good to go. John Smith is happy. We're going to go ahead and finish. Fantastic. We're seeing that, in fact, it has been finished on the bottom right-hand side. And I can go back to my home page over here and say, yep, this task is now done. And if I had another task, it would pop up right in front of me. Okay, so that was the end of my day in the life, and let's just do a quick recap before we start breaking a lot of the things that we saw down. So first we started off the day on my mobile device, and we were able to go ahead and see alerts and take care of some tasks. I saw I had an expiring quote. I was able to actually release an order from credit hold. I had a conversation with Diane so she can continue her own work. And I was also able to take a look at some analytics to take advantage of my time with my customer. And then when I got into the office, I was able to take a look at my role-based homepage, which essentially provided me with information right in front of me, right at my fingertips, that helped me prioritize my time and gave me access to the information that I needed to go ahead and convert that quote into an order. So gonna take a breather over here. Let's just take a sip of water. And if that felt fast to you, don't worry, we're going to be breaking a lot of what we just saw down. And after we do that, I'm also going to be talking about the flexibility of CloudSuite Distribution, how it's able to meet your unique business needs, as well as we're going to, do a short sales order so that we can see that process again. So let's go ahead, let's just touch on role-based homepages for a second over here, where, as we mentioned, this is my homepage for a sales rep, but of course we can have a homepage for any individual or any role within the organization. So over here, I have a sales manager homepage. A sales manager is going to have their own analytics, their own tasks and alerts, their own bookmarks. I have a different one for warehouse manager, again, just to give you a sense of how you can have this personalized to your needs, where maybe the warehouse manager wants to keep track of the efficiency of their workers. And we also have our purchasing manager homepage, where we could see year-to-date versus last year-to-date purchase amount, orders versus received, and of course some vendor information. Now, these homepages are very easy to create, very easy to edit, and you are, of course, able to control who is able to both create and edit these homepages. And again, the value here is you're having in front of you exactly what you need in order to be as productive and as efficient as possible. So you don't have to go searching for all of this information. Now, how do we create or edit these homepages? It's not a problem. If I want to add one of these boxes, and we call these boxes widgets, I can go ahead, select add widget. We have an entire widget catalog that comes with CloudSuite Distribution, a ton of different applications over here that you can add to your homepage to make sure that you have exactly what you need in front of you. If you want to add any of these widgets to your homepage, maybe customer balance, I can go ahead and I simply select the add widget icon over there. Now, once you've added everything that you like, very, very easy, again, to make sure that this homepage works for you. So I can go ahead, maybe I want this one to be over here. As we can see, it's just drag and drop. Maybe I want something bigger. Everything is going to rearrange automatically. And then once I'm done and I'm happy, I can go ahead and hit save. So really, really easy to get the solution working and looking the way that you would like. So now that we've kind of talked about homepages in general, what I'd like to do is we're going to be kind of scrolling through this homepage and talking about some of the things that we saw earlier. So for instance, up top, we talked about how we saw some analytics over here. And we also saw how we were able to see analytics off of my mobile device. What is housing all of these analytics? Where is it coming from? Well, I'm able to go ahead to my app switch right over here, and this is where I'm able to go to various areas of the application, including my analytics. So I can go ahead, select my analytics, and I'm brought to that core area within the application where I can dig into all of that information. And what we have over here is our best in breed business intelligence toolset, which comes with probably over 80 dashboards and 160 reports in all of these different areas: sales, purchasing, inventory, warehousing, AR, AP, GL. And this is a near real-time solution. All of the joins have already been done for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And as you'll see, one of the main features and benefits of our analytics over here is the ability to see not just what's happening, but also why, the ease of use of being able to take that information and get at the answers that you need. So for instance, I'm going to take you through just a couple of dashboards to give you a sense of what all of this looks like, what it feels like, and what the capabilities available are over here. So what we have in front of us is our sales analysis dashboard, where I can see things like my key performance indicators. On the left-hand side, I have gross margin, profit, total sales, cost, and fill rate, all of this being kept track of for me. And I also have these graphs and charts like sales by sales manager, sales analysis by month, the trend in the number of orders this year versus last, as well as the trend in the number of sales. Now, as you can see, it's already pretty visually pleasing. I can see what's going on. I can see there's conditional formatting telling me that sales in January and February of this year is less than that of last year. Maybe I want to look into that. But maybe this kind of look doesn't really work for you. Maybe your brain doesn't work this way. Maybe, for instance, you'd rather see all of this information in a table. That's not at all a problem. Again, this is very user-friendly. I say, hey, I'd prefer to see this in a table. And so it is going to be giving us that information on a table format, although I am wondering if maybe it timed out on me. So let's go ahead and continue on and see if perhaps it's going to work for me a little bit later on, or I can just relog back in. Not at all a problem. So this was one thing. This is where we're able to see what it is, what's going on in my organization, and what else can we do over here? Well, there's one thing, and that's called filtering. Let's say I want to see all of this information, but I want to see it for something specific. So what I'm going to do is I can take a look and open up my extended filter over here. I can see things like my customer name, the sales rep, the product code or line, product category, the sales warehouse, the rank within the warehouse, quarter, month, year. I can filter on any of these things. So let me go ahead and do just that. Maybe I want to filter and see all of this information for a specific customer. Let's go ahead and filter it for my customer, Metro Sales Supply. As you can see, I was very, very easily able to select this customer. It is now adjusted to reflect specifically this information. We're able to see that table that we were pulling up before. And again, now we can start getting at the answers of, okay, what is happening specifically with Metro Sales Supply? I don't have to create a whole other dashboard, nothing like that. I can simply go ahead and filter, and we can see that filter right over here. And to remove it, I can simply X out of it. Another way to get, again, at specific information that we need to filter on this page is I can actually highlight. So maybe I want to see information specific to the sales manager, Barbara Conbeer. I can highlight her information. Once again, a filter has been applied to this page. It's right over here. And if I want to get out of it, not a problem. We can do just that. Now, there are some other capabilities that I can show you, and I'm just going to go to another dashboard again to give you a sense of the depth and breadth of what we have ready and waiting for you. But just for instance, to give you a sense of how many dashboards we have in sales, as you can see, we have very many in sales and in all of those other functional areas that I described. And honestly, we do keep creating more and more content for you. Let's dive into accounts receivable for a second over here to see what that dashboard looks like. So again, we have those key performance indicators. We have our open AR balance, total overdue, invoice amount, total invoice payments, some additional key performance indicators on the left-hand side. And again, we have those charts where I'm able to see aging, and I can see, oh boy, it looks like in our demo environment over here, we're not doing too good in terms of getting our payments from our customers over here. It looks like a lot of them are in the greater than 90-day aging bucket. And I could also see things like the AR balance for my top customers, sales and payment by customer, and top sales and payment by sales rep. Okay, So we see this information, very handy. I can start gathering conclusions, but I want to dig deeper. I want to see not just what is happening, but also why. So I can go ahead and dig further into that open AR balance. I want to see what is making up all of the balance that is due to me. And I could see immediately that it looks like our customer over here, this customer Apex, this large blue bar seems to be making up a lot of our AR. So I can dig down and drill even deeper to see the information on them. I can see exactly the invoices that are within within that aging area, within that aging bucket, the invoice date, the due date, all of those aging buckets, and the totals within all of those aging buckets. So I have all of this information readily available to me. I got to it in a matter of seconds. And I think, you know what, maybe I can actually get them to be a little bit better about paying up if I have this sent to them on a frequent basis. And that's exactly what I can do. I can enter in their email address, nice message. I can determine what frequency is going to be sent to them and whether daily, weekly, monthly, the time, and the format. And maybe, you know, if they receive that on a consistent basis, hopefully they will be a little bit better about paying up. Now, Burst, which is the name of our analytics toolset, I could talk about easily for 1 to 2 hours at least. So this is just a taste of what you can do over here. This is some of the prepackaged content. If you would like, you can create your own dashboards and reports. You can also connect to outside sources if you'd like if you want to report on CRM or maybe aging and forecasting information that's not currently stored in the CloudSuite. You have the option to do that as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to be going back to that homepage, and we're going to once again continue going down that homepage, breaking things down that we're seeing. So for instance, as we're scrolling down, we saw these important documents over here that I have quick and easy access to. Where is this coming from? Where can I get these documents? Well, the area where they're housed, again, I could go to my app switcher over here, and I could go to my document management, which is this electronic filing cabinet where it's going to be storing not just all of the documents that are generated by the solution and make them in context with the correct area of the solution, whether that's a product or a customer, a vendor, a sales order, purchase order, whatever it may be. But I can also store external documents here as well. And there are over 50 different document types ready and waiting for you. But of course, you can add, you can modify them because we do provide you that ability as well. So aside from the electronic filing cabinet and aside from the ability to create and modify or get rid of these document types, we also have one additional part of Infor document management, and that's an optional, that's an add-on, and that is optical character recognition, where if you might want something like the ability to have, let's say, a vendor invoice, you know, scanned into your system, read by the solution, and entered for you instead of having to do it manually, so that you can, you know, reallocate those resources where they're needed most, you do have that option available to you. And let's just take a quick look at this document management so that you could get a sense of how easy it is to find a document that you need. So for instance, maybe I want to take a look at my acknowledgements over here. I can narrow this down. Maybe I want to narrow it down by customer number. And let's go ahead and select one of my customers. As we can see, it has now given me those matching documents. 129, that's a little bit more than I want to look through, so I can narrow it down even further if I'd like. I'm able to search within these documents. So for instance, I have it here already, maybe I want to search for all of the acknowledgements that have this particular product. So I can go ahead and search, and we can see we're down to 11 documents. I can see this document right over here. I can open it up. And as we'll see, the item is right over here, the 14001. So really, really quick and easy to get to that information and to get to those documents if you so desire. Okay, let's go back to our home page and let's continue moving down again, exploring some of the things that we saw earlier. And we can see, if you'll recall, those tasks and alerts, right? The credit approvals, the expiring quotes, late shipments. So what is underlying that? Well, actually, we have workflows that you can create if you so desire. And what these workflows will do, they'll tell you, they'll monitor what's happening in your solution, and they'll tell you when something happens or doesn't happen. So maybe if an order goes on credit hold and you say, hey, I want you to keep an eye on that, it will let you know, hey, guess what? Order has gone on credit hold. Or it will notify you when something doesn't happen where, hey, just so you know, this customer hasn't placed an order in the last 30 days. And that is what is driving those alerts and tasks that we saw earlier. And so what is the benefit of all this? What's the benefit of these workflows? What's the benefit of these alerts and these tasks? Well, it's multifold. One is that it will help you streamline your processes to make sure that everything is running as smoothly as possible. Again, we want to make sure that we can reduce those costs. Another is that these allow you to be proactive as opposed to reactive, right? You know, a lot of the times us humans, we're reactive folk, and for instance, we might have an order sitting around, it's been on credit hold, and then you end up realizing that it's a problem when the customer calls and they're very upset as to why they didn't get their order. So it allows us to be proactive about these situations instead of cleaning up a mess. The other really main benefit over here is that it allows us to do something that we called manage by exception. And what that means is, instead of you having to have your eyes everywhere at all times, checking, for instance, constantly checking these orders, have they gone on credit hold, constantly looking to see if any shipments are running late, instead, you're going to have CSD, CloudSuite Distribution, monitoring all of that for you. And it's just going to be telling you about those exceptions. That way you're devoting your time, your energy to where it's needed. And that way you're able to be more productive and more efficient with your time. Okay, so now that we've gone through a little bit of what we saw within our demo, I do want to talk about two more things. And one of them has to do with the flexibility of a solution. We saw some of the flexibility already in terms of these home pages here. We saw the flexibility in terms of the business analytics, the ability to get at the information that we need, but there's also flexibility within this core ERP itself as well. So for instance, you know, maybe I'm an individual, I take sales orders, and this is the page where I would do it. Now, maybe I don't quite like the look of all of this. Maybe I want, you know, the fields in a different order. Maybe I want them to have a different name. Maybe I want fields to be larger or smaller, or more fields or less. So there's one way that we can do that right over here, and that's called personalization. And we can personalize by user, so an individual, by profile, so maybe department, or by company. And of course, who has the ability to do that is entirely up to you. So what we're looking at is that order entry page over here, and maybe I want to move some things around. Maybe I want warehouse to be above customer. Maybe I want to go ahead and edit this label over here. I want it to be called sales location. Maybe I want this field to be large, particular color. Let's have a nice orange. Maybe I want my cursor to be in that field when I go onto that page to save me even more time. I can go ahead and do just that. Maybe there's a hidden field in this gray area. I want it to be unhidden. Not a problem. I could simply unhide, and we are good to go. And of course, we can hide fields that are currently unhidden. So that's one level of flexibility within the solution, helping you work the way that you want and need to work. But we have another level, and we like to call that personalization on steroids, or at least I like to call it that, because this is already dealing with something much deeper. We're already starting to talk about with extensibility, how we're able to take the solution and make sure that it meets those unique business needs of yours without having to do those invasive modifications. So just to give you a very light example of what that can look like, well, for instance, I have, again, that order entry page, but maybe I want to add some brand new buttons, some brand new containers over here, some brand new fields, whether it's a checkbox or a date or a drop down, a lookup, whatever it may be. That's just one thing that can be done over here. Another, for instance, has to do with kind of how is CloudSuite Distribution thinking? Well, for instance, let's say we're looking at the ship via over here, and maybe I want it to actually make this field required or read only, or maybe I want that to be conditional, where it's going to be required only under certain conditions or read only under certain conditions. We have that option available to you. And again, these are just very, very light examples of what can be done. Point being that it can work with you and work with how you want the solution to function and think in order to, again, meet those needs of yours. And one last thing that I wanted to touch on over here with extensibility is the fact that, we have hotkeys available for you that you can create for yourself, so they're able to fly through the solution nice and fast so that you could be as productive as possible. And again, a lot of people like having their fingers on the keyboard at all times. So we have that for you if that's how you work best. So we're flying along over here, but we've covered personalization, we've covered extensibility, again, helping you work the way that you want and need to work, and cover those business needs of yours. And extensibility, as we mentioned earlier, also helps you avoid those invasive modifications so that you can get your updates to the solution on a monthly basis and constantly be on the latest and greatest. And what we're going to finish up with over here is just a quick look into sales order entry. Again, this is a topic that I can talk hours about, but we're just going to touch on it just a little bit over here so that you get a little bit of a taste. So we're going to be entering in an order. Let's say I'm going to be entering an order for my customer Apex over here. You'll notice how some information has dynamically been entered onto this page, so I don't have to type it in. I'm going to be making a stock order over here, but we can create a lot of different order types over here. Maybe it's a direct order, a future order, a counter sale, a quote, a return, a correction. All of that can be done right from over here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start this order. And again, on the left-hand side, I have my header information readily available for me. So I have the order number, the order type, the stage of the order. I can change my order type on the fly. I have who my customer is, their address, a ship to address. If there's multiple ship tos to a customer, again, you could change that on the fly, and you're able to go ahead and collapse that as well. So let's just go over the different ways we can enter products on our order. And one was the one that you saw earlier, which is simply our easy line entry. So maybe let's actually take a look at one of the products that we saw earlier. Let's take a look at that saw. Again, we have those pictures right over there for you. We also have those optional or add-on products entering dynamically there. And we're able to see information like what is the name, the product, the description, the amount in stock in real time, and the price for this product for this customer. And so if I want to go ahead, let's say I want 5 of that, let's say I want 10 of this. As we saw, we could add all of these lines at one time. And just to point out as well, because we took a look at document management and we saw IDM, info document management. We saw how we could pull up this information on our phone and how we could have it docked on our homepage. And we also saw how we could, see our context and have activities over here. But what we could also have is we can take a look at specific documents for this product. So over here, if I want to see information for this product, I have my manual over here. If I want to mail it directly to my customer, not a problem. I can email it to them immediately. So they don't have to wait, and they will be nice and happy customers. So that was one kind of line entry. Another kind, let's see over here, is quick line entry. This is very popular with our customers for counter sales. So let's say I want to go ahead and I want this product and I want 3 let's say I want, there we go. Let's say I want this product and I want 3 of them, and I can add that to my order. Let's say I want something else. I can go ahead and say, I want this product, I want 5 of them, and add them to my order. And then I can go ahead and add them to the cart as well. And if I so desire, all of this can be done with those hotkeys, with my fingers on the keyboard at all times. Now, the final line entry option over here is advanced. And what this is going to do is it's going to be giving you the most information, and it's going to give you the most options. So what we have, for instance, is, and let's just enter in another product over here. Let's get our nice saw. Again, we have the net available in real time. We have the product for this price for this customer, but we could also do other things from here, like sourcing. Maybe I want to attach a purchase order or a warehouse transfer to this particular item for this particular item. Maybe I want to take a look at some pricing information, or actually look at some rebate information or create a rebate right from over here. So we've got all of those options and many, many more in these extended fields that we could talk to at a later date. We're able to go ahead and see our taxes, any add-ons that are there already, and create more if you need to. And then we can collect our payment. So what we can do is we can pay by a percentage of the total. We can pay by what's been ordered, what's going to be shipped, if anything is back ordered. And this is also a user definable field in terms of payment type. So whatever payment types it is that you accept, whether it's a check or credit card, we have SendPass integration for you so that you can use that credit card solution, and you're going to be compliant. And then you're just going to enter in whatever information you need. So let's say this is a check and the customer is giving me the number for the check. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to accept payment. A journal is going to be opened in real time because this transaction is occurring in real time and is going to be recorded automatically. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit finish. And as we can see in the bottom right-hand side, that order has now been created. So I know that was a bit of a marathon for you, and I hope you got value in terms of the ease of use, in terms of sales order entry, the ease of use for the solution in general, and the fact that it is able to be tailored to your specific and unique needs so that you could be as productive and efficient as possible. So now I know we have a few minutes left, so I want to take the time to take any questions that you might have.
Yeah, and folks, if you want, you can ask them verbally. You don't need to use the chat box any longer. Feel free to open up your phones to ask any questions.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, if we don't have any questions, I would like to extend again my appreciation to Hani for that great presentation. I would ask that anybody that's interested in knowing more, that would like to explore CloudSuite deeper or talk about possible conversions, etc., from your on-prem version, which we've done several of, by the way, please contact NSA. We'd be happy to help you or make sure we point you to the right folks. And with that, we're almost right up at the top of the hour. I'll hang on here, our team will hang on here for another minute or so, just in case there's any final questions. But the session has been recorded. We will get that out to you guys, and hope this was beneficial, and hope to hear from you guys as far as anyone with any interest.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Great, guys. Well, thank you. We're going to go ahead and drop. Appreciate your time today. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.